For those of you who are wondering who this strange person is up here, I am Hazel Regnart Fretwell, descendant of a pioneer Cupertino family. I'm better known to the children of the school as the Trunk Lady. Would all the people of the Cupertino Historical Society please stand, wave their hands or something so we know they're here? Thank you. It is my pleasure tonight to introduce a young man who is a native of California, a resident of the Bay Area for many years. He works for the Altos Company. He has a degree from San Jose State University, a wife named Michelle, and I quote him, "No children, cats, or dogs." He was elected to the City Council in 1980 and has been mayor since September 1984. May I present Phil Johnson, the Honorable Mayor of the City of Cupertino. Mr. Mayor. All right.
Thank you. Happy birthday, everyone. There are a lot of people here that deserve to be introduced tonight. I'm only going to be able to mention a few of them. I understand that John Mercer, Mayor of Sunnyvale, was here, and he extends his congratulations to the City of Cupertino and a hearty birthday. We have, I saw her earlier out of the corner of my eye, Yvette Del Prado, who's the superintendent of the Cupertino School District. She is here with us tonight. We have Joan Barham, who is here, who is also on the board. We have, just a few minutes ago, I saw Jim Jackson walk in over there in the corner. I can see him. We have Jim Jackson was a former mayor and city council member. We have Keith Irwin. Keith Irwin was mayor when Vallco was originally approved. Keith is here with us tonight. From our current council, we have Barbara Rogers. We have John Plungy. And I haven't seen them yet, though I know they'll be here. John Gatto and Reed Sparks. Cupertino has been blessed with many citizens that have been able to look to the future. And as a result, today the city is recognized as one of the finest in the valley and one of the most prestigious cities in the Santa Clara Valley. Incorporated in 1955, it was the 13th city in Santa Clara County, and the community has changed or shifted from one of an agricultural base to one of a high-tech community. Through it all, the community character, I think, has been an integral part of the city and all the changes that we've gone through. It may interest you to know that when the original petition for incorporation was made, it included 4 points. And the first point was to preserve the rural atmosphere of the community, to permit farmers to operate with minimum tax expense, to bring local problems, and I can hear Sharon out there, to bring local problems under control by local representation in government, and to allow Cupertino to plan and prepare for its growth, future direction, and its needs. 416 residents voted in the election. There were 231 for, and 185 were opposed. And on October 10th, 1955, Cupertino officially became a city. Cupertino history reflects the transition that has occurred from agricultural to the highly technical, mobile population that we have today. And for many of those who have lived here, perhaps it has changed too much. However, Cupertino, due to its strategic location here in the valley and due to its closeness to the city of San Francisco, was on a path to fast change. And if anything, the transition to cityhood saved it or stemmed the tide to annexation to either San Jose or Sunnyvale. We were able to retain our own character. And the one constant theme, when I've talked to people that were here in the beginning and the people that have served in the community over the years, has been to have controlled, planned growth. It's been the one constant theme that we've strived for the past 30 years. And so today, we are recognized as a highly desirable city in which to live. We have a strong financial base. We have fine schools. The city's full of culture, a lot of hardworking people, very active citizenry. And I want to thank everybody here and those of you that were not able to make it tonight for helping make Cupertino the fantastic place it really is to live. It's a very special place, and I think everybody else in the valley recognizes it. So happy 30th, and I hope that 10 years from now when we celebrate our 40th, I hope you're all here to wish us each a happy birthday. Thank you for coming. Now, it's hard for me to see but I understand that Supervisor Diane McKenna was going to be here this evening. Is she here by any chance? If she arrives later, we'll introduce her at that time. I have another introduction to make. The choice, we're all here tonight at the Vallco Fashion Plaza Center, and the choice of Vallco is no accident, really, as being the location for our 30th celebration. The Vallco Center has become a symbol of quality and of quality growth and development in Cupertino. Even the name was devised by taking the first letters of the names of the principal developers and families, Varian, Leonard, Lester, Kraft, and Orlando. And for me, it's a great honor to introduce an early pioneer of Cupertino, a descendant of several pioneer families in Cupertino, who was an early orchardist, and who with a few others had the foresight to pull their lands into an entity known today as Vallco. He's a man who has played an active part in the community the entire 30 years and has helped make Cupertino the city that it is today. And if I had to use one word to describe this man, I'd have to say vision or a visionary person. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Burrel Leonard.
Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you from the various Vallcos. If Will Lester is in the audience, he is the other general partner in Vallco. I'd like for him to stand or come up and make the speech. The mayor has told us about today and a little bit about tomorrow. I have been asked to speak a very short time on yesterday. The questions tend to be, who started it? Any survivors? Why did they start it? What were the early City Hall meetings like? What were the early administrations like? How did the commercial, the larger scale commercial, and the electronics get started? And did the people who started these things think it was worth doing in looking backward? I'll try to answer all of these in about a sentence apiece. The relatively few of us were in close attendance at the birth of the city. There tended to be four groups. The Cupertino Monte Vista Improvement Association had had a 20 or 30 or 40 year existence. They were a clearinghouse for information on all kinds of local problems. They appointed a fact-finding committee to do the researching on the main alternatives, which were thought to be incorporation or the negotiation on a massive basis of an annexation on conditions to one of the surrounding cities, or to do nothing. They met for quite a while, 14 of them. They produced 12 pages of argument and recommendation, and that's all it took to launch the city. Henrietta Marcotte is here this evening. She was the secretary of the organization. I won't go through all the names, but there are at least two of us who survived that initial phase. The original council consisted of Ivan Marholtz, Warner Wilson, John Seitz, Norman Nathanson, and Ralph Lindenmeyer. 5 years ago, Ralph was the only survivor, and I don't know whether the last 5 years have been good to him or not. The initial planning commission consisted of Raymond Bell, Cecil Nielsen, Ed Kelly, George Pezis, and I spoke to George's family last night. He was at a ball game today and may get here later. But Ed Kelly sent his regrets. He's still in town. The original Cupertino Sanitary District consisted of Otis Forge, Roy Rushton, Doc Brown, Ivan Marholtz, and George Voss. George Voss and Ivan have passed on, and their replacements were Kurt Harrison and Morris Labrie. On the question, why Cupertino Incorporated, as I remember it, the city incorporation was the least bad of a dozen Hobson choices, the lose-lose kind. It was solidly based on desperation. If there was any lofty intellectual yearning for town hall tonight, complete with media coverage, I did not encounter it. We were being abused by reckless use of the powers of taxation, of eminent domain, of annexation, and of zoning. We tried to slip these punches and thought we met with a little success. Now for the first few city halls and the administrations. The first city employee was a Mrs. Anthony who did part-time secretarial work from a lone desk in the firehouse. Later on, the council hired Larry Martin, who acted as a full-time clerk administrator, and that ran the city overhead up to 2 employees. The council had an impossible dream that never came to pass. That was to buy the initial Cupertino Union School facility.
And after we're done, I would really encourage you to walk around and meet different people. There's a tremendous amount of trivia, little-known facts about Cupertino that all of us should be sharing with each other. So feel free to meet people that you haven't met before. There's another pioneer that's played a crucial role in Cupertino. Really, two people. I'm only going to call up one, but I'll introduce them both. But another individual who has helped shape the city, made it what it is today, who has put thousands of hours into this community in the past and is doing so even today, things like Highway 85, who is a principal also of Vallco. And if we could, I can see Hazel, and Hazel Lester, will you stand? And Will Lester, will you please come forward? Will, would you like to come forward and share any thoughts with us? Okay, thank you. Both Will and Burrel have played a crucial role in the city. And we can never thank them enough. If I could turn this back over to Hazel. It's a lot more fun introducing people, I have found, than talking yourself. So.
Okay, Phil, thank you.
Barbara Rogers said I could tell one little anecdote if I keep it short. So I'm going to tell you how you stay humble. When I was in high school, I was absent for a few days, and I was a senior. I guess I thought I was pretty good. And when I recovered and got back on the bus, my very best friend looked at me and she said, "Well, hi, Hazel, you'd be surprised how well this school got along without you while you were gone." So I have been humble ever since, believe me. We want to thank all of you for coming, and we think this has been a really great party, and we look forward to much greater things for Cupertino in the future. And now I'm going to turn the mic back to the mayor. No, maybe not the mic, but he is going to cut the cake. So thank you all again.